he's my number one, who I'm looking out for, and I think he's going to be up there, top, golden boot, potentially, if they get through to the quarters.
And welcome to Friday Night Counterattack's brand new show. It's called, I don't know what we're going to call it, Sunday Scout Show, SSS, Sunday Scout Show. I'm happy with that. It's basically where I get to invite my scouting colleagues on and we get to have a conversation about football in general. But obviously we're starting with the Euro 2020, so I thought I'd invite my good friend Danny Stiggers back onto the show. Hello, Danny. Good to see you.
Good to see you too, man. Looking forward to this new show. I love looking at new players or ones that other people don't really look out for in the world of football. Even if you know the players we're talking about, or if you don't know the players, that bring a little bit more information to you and try and enlighten you a little bit on some of the players to watch out with. We'll start with the first one. He's a striker. I think this country will need to rely on him to do well in their group. They've got a tough group from what I can remember. And the first player is Alexander Isak, or Isak for Sweden.
Yeah.
Now, Real Sociedad striker, big 6'4" unit, 17 goals for Real Sociedad this year in a season where they were overperforming throughout a lot of the majority of the year, getting goals after goals in the Europa League as well, and also inside the La Liga. So I think for Sweden this year, for Sweden to do well in this tournament, I think he's going to need to overperform. Obviously, no Zlatan, so they're going to be in need of a striker. They've also got a young Larson in there as well, but I don't think he's probably ready for the tournament yet.
It's unfortunate that Zlatan Ibrahimovic is injured for the Euros, but they will heavily rely on the striker. Sweden have it all to play for in that group. But yeah, I'm happy to see Alexander Isak play at this tournament. Hopefully he shines. It'll be nice to see him shine.
I really think he's going to be up there with the top goal scorers if Sweden do go through. So I think Slovakia are probably the team in that group that aren't going to be able to progress. So you just got Poland, Spain and Sweden all looking for that top two places. Now, I think if you lose your first game, it's going to be important as well that you've got to bounce back strong and get back into the games. He's my number one, who I'm looking out for, and I think he's going to be up there, top, golden boot, potentially, if they get through to the quarters.
My one, he's not that young, but he's had a breakthrough season. Nicolo Barella for Italy and for Inter Milan. He's played as a number 8 this season under Antonio Conte. He's kept out the likes of Gagliardini, Eriksson, sometimes Vidal, just to kind of get him into the team. He's someone that I really enjoyed watching. I'm very happy with the fact that Italy are back in this tournament and they have a proper attacking midfielder in their team with Barella, with the likes of Jorginho and Verratti in that same midfield as well. And we're used to seeing them play with a lot of old players because a lot of their players always come through a lot later. I would have put Moise Kean in, but he didn't even make the squad. So I was quite unhappy. And Zaniolo was injured as well. But I'm always looking at the new kind of young Italian players coming through. And Barella, who's not too young, like we said, at 24, is someone that I believe can chip in with goals, chip in with assists, and someone that can actually break through the lines against the teams that they've got in their group.
I haven't seen him play for Inter Milan this year. I'm not a huge fan of Italian football in the sense I'll sit down and watch the games. But the critics have been so highly, or spoken so highly about him that he definitely needs to be one to watch. And as soon as you said the name, it sort of hit me like, oh, actually, yeah, that's one of the ones I was supposed to actually be looking at or looking forward to watching from what these players have been saying, what Sky Italy have been saying, from a lot of the pundits on the internet, on the news articles, on Twitter. They've all been saying to watch out for Barella. And obviously, when you've got a player in front of him like Ciro Immobile, that he can maybe even work in an 8 and 10 or a 9 and 10 role, that partnership could be deadly. And that's what Italy have been missing these past few years. I think they're like a good, solid strike partnership, or one that's going to be able to feed him in behind. So if he's that type of player that's going to get goals and assists and also help out the attacking lineup, I like the pick of Barella. And for 24, still young.
It's going to be fun and it's going to be enjoyable to see such he is a dynamic midfielder, but under Conte, because you know the system, the 3-5-2, he's going to have a bit more freedom under Mancini in this team, and hopefully he can actually kind of dominate games now. I think he's at that age where I believe he can dominate games for Italy and for Inter Milan as well. So,
right, my number 2 pick, and this is all dependent on whether he plays because of his age and also the personnel that he has to come up against in his own squad. We spoke about him before on the podcast. He's all over the news, and that is Jamaal Muziala for Germany.
Yes, I
Now,
am.
obviously, it pains me that he's gone from the England to the Germany setup, but at the same time, if you're sitting at home and people are saying to you, "Oh, we don't want you. You may not fit into our squads," and a powerhouse of a national team like Germany come along and say, "Look, come and join our 23-man squad or 26-man squad." He can't even play Call of Duty legally until last year, and now he's in that Germany squad with the likes of Muller, with the likes of Goretzka, with the likes of Kimmich. And I think he deserves to play, and he can really show the world what England were missing out on in this competition. And that Germany team is really looking scary this year, where in years before it may have missed out. And I think if he gets his chance to shine, I think Jamaal Muziala is definitely one to watch in this tournament.
To my second pick, I'm going for Daniel Malen or Malen. I don't know how to pronounce his name. But he used to play for Arsenal, actually. He was an Arsenal academy and reserve prospect as well. And he moved to PSV Eindhoven. And he's a goal scoring machine. 18 goals a season, 8 assists for PSG in the league. His finishing is up there with one of the best I've seen for the Netherlands in quite a while, really. And I don't want them to be reliant on Memphis Depay for their attacking goals. I know they've got Luke de Jong in there as another target man. They've got Workhorse as well. Marlon is someone that I believe can have a coming of age tournament this time around. I believe he can actually scare opponents with his dribbling, with his finishing, with his agility as well. Maybe not starting because they'll go a bit conservative under Frank de Boer, making Depay that main striker, the main focal point. But Marlon's coming off the bench, someone starting a couple games here and there. I believe he'll be absolutely fantastic.
I'm a great fan of Malin. I've been hearing about his name all season, still an automatic goal threat. But yeah, I think he's got a real chance. Holland were to play a 3-5-2 and went maybe Depay and Malin together, I think that might work. The personality and the star of Depay, who's able to produce moments of magic, and then maybe even just Malin being that extra sort of goals, play too wide, get the free midfield of De Jong, Gravenberch, and maybe even Donny van der Beek. For me, I'm going with Nuno Mendes, the left back. Or if you're a Portuguese fan, it's Nuno Mendes. This player has been likened to Ferland Mendy. He's been likened to one of the best left backs in the world, playing for Sporting Lisbon. He's even linked with Man City this summer, but I think the price tag that Lisbon have put on him has been outrageously big. Got to be a reason why he's starting at the Euros for this Portugal at 18 years of age, especially next to the likes of Pepe and Jose Fonte, Joao Cancelo. And I've watched him play a few times, and look, the guy is an absolute baller. The guy puts the ball down, plays 1-2s, gets down that wing. He'll help out Diogo Jota and whoever's down that left-hand side, maybe even Bernardo Silva or Cristiano if they decide to play him a little bit wider. And getting back on the defensive side of things, he's an absolute animal. He gets his stem stuck into tackles. He's up and down that pitch, an absolute workhorse. And I think France are going to have to put Mbappe against him just to be able to challenge. And he's 18 years of age, and he's sitting there like, well, why is this player not playing in the biggest leagues? And I'm sure we'll see him in the big leagues very, very soon. Absolutely very soon.
He's obviously one of the top talents. He may be taking Guerrero's spot in that left back spot as well. Someone that can really attack and dribble properly for a left back at such a young age isn't something unheard of, but it's something that's appreciated a lot more in the game at the moment. The fact that you can see a lot of people, and he's saying a lot of his scouting colleagues as well in Portugal were very happy with his development and being a league winner with Sporting Lisbon as well in his first full season as left back is always a big thing. So that's probably why they've got a big price tag on them at the moment. For Nuno Mendes left back as well. But I didn't pick him. I didn't pick him because I thought, you know what? It would be nice to pick this other Portuguese player that I've got on my side. So I, for once, just want to see him shine. And his name is João Felix. Again, a Portuguese player. He's someone that I don't believe will start. I think Jota will get the nod over him on the left wing side as well. But he's someone that I believe should be in the ranks of Haaland and Mbappe as the top attacking talents for European football and world football at the moment. He's won the league title with Atletico Madrid. He hasn't scored a goal yet for Portugal, unfortunately, but he's barely had any games. He was always a sub during the Nations League as well. And it's just one of those things that I believe that he's got some amazing attacking talent. We barely see a lot of quality dribblers, crosses and passes of a ball at the moment. So it's really weird how they played him at Atletico Madrid as like a false nine behind Suarez. As a winger, I think it'll be unbelievable. If he can get his head down and if he can actually work as a team player, but still shine in his own way, it'll be nice to see João Felix. And I think the world deserves to see João Felix play the way he can play.
See, I've always heard such big things about him since when he signed for Atletico. He was going to be the star. He was going to be the one that brought the Portuguese nation forward. He's the one that's going to take over from Ronaldo in regards to being that star. And I think up until the beginning of last season, or maybe even before the pandemic, you didn't really get to see that from him. I think he was always in the shadow of being just too young, or he's growing. Trust us, he's growing. Here's now a tournament where you've been chosen by your country. You've got the whole country backing you and supporting you. Go out and show us what you need to do. Especially that you said they might even bring him off the bench. If he needs to come off the bench, then look, they're going to need him in big games, big moments. He's not going to be someone that comes off the bench when you're winning 4 or 5-0, because you're not going to get that. It's going to have to be right. You're going to have to make an impact for us, and you'll have to make an impact for us fast. So, but some of the highlights I've seen of him, you're like, what? How was this kid not like banging 20, 30 goals a season? If he can get the ball down, pass it, move it, and do his tricks and flicks and get goals in this tournament, then yeah, I believe he can be one of the biggest ones to really stand out and shine. I think he needs to stop being that pop star just a little bit and try and really show his skill and his effort as a team player in this tournament.
João Felix, like we said, if this is his coming of age tournament for me, this is where I believe, obviously the World Cup's in 18 months' time, but I believe this is where he has to show the world, this is why I made that big money move to Atletico Madrid, and this is why I believe I'm the best player coming through at Atletico Madrid and the best player coming through the ranks in Portugal as well. Thank you very much, Danny. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching and for listening as well. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy the Euros coming up next week. See you all later. Goodbye.